Hello, guys. This is Aloysius Sanderman here, or Alex Julian, and I'm sure you're interested in these instruments I've been using lately, which I got a pair of what I call musical spoons, and this instrument here, which is sleigh bell or sleigh bells. And to be honest, I know I call myself like a folk singer, like I would say like at least like 25 years too late. But you know, there are ups and downs in the folk music industry, in the country industry, and even in other genres like rap industry, electronica industry, heavy metal industry. There's ups and downs in the music industry. And even with these instruments here, and with my ability to write songs, it's difficult to get the notes right on the speaker. Because at my home, I mean, I do have a theater speaker in the living room, like this living room you're looking at right here. And my theater speaker helps me keep track of all of the things to consider for sounds and music and song production. But it's not easy. Because often volume, as in music volume, is often an opinion. It's often like a statement of like some kind of inquiry or guess. We may not always really know like what is too loud and what is too soft and what is too noisy and what is too low and what is too high and what is too wide and what is too left and what is too right. We often do not know with theater speakers and music speakers and stereo speakers. We often just do not know. I mean, we really don't. I mean, I could bring this here, kind of like, I can put the musical spoons at my cheek and hear a sound, but I also have to be careful of my eardrums because my eardrums can be sensitive. And I will spend hours and hours being quiet or near quiet a long time because I used to be a video game player. Like a heavy duty video game player, playing Nintendo and Sega and those kinds of things. Now, when I play video games, I play video games more like a treat. I play video games more like as a once in a while or rare occasion. I no longer play video games for hours and hours every day. In fact, when it comes to television, just in general, TV, if I may call it TV, I used to watch TV for hours and hours as a kid growing up, but in my old adult years, it's become too painful for me to sit most of the time and really take a look at TV because my family is full of personal history when it comes to Russian culture and German culture. Because as you know, my mom comes from the Russian side and my dad comes from the German side. And to this day, it's very hard to reconcile with all of the differences in the world when it comes to food, drink, and health. And even with shelter above me, even with this wonderful mansion that I live in the mountains in Tehachapi, it's like, wealth does not erase mind. Wealth does not soothe mind in a perfect fashion. No. In fact, wealth, if you're not careful with wealth, like my wealth, for example, you can make a lot of discoveries in the world from travel, whether you travel to Italy or Germany or Austria or Switzerland or France or Belgium or England or Tennessee or Georgia or if you go to the American states, Texas, New Mexico, it gets painful, if not more painful, to be a rich person. And I would say, based on my surroundings with who I'm near, I would say overall, I am relatively well off. I am basically a pretty rich person with my interest in creating free art for DeviantArt, because, let's face it, when you take all the fans around the world who have ever had Crayola crayons, and when you give them the opportunity to release free art on the internet, then the art industry is going to change, because then there is going to be more free art than ever before. And that is just the nature of it right now. And I want this nature because I love seeing other people's art. I love seeing other people's drawings and other people's pictures and songs and those kinds of things. And the truth is, art is not just these days a profession for some people. For other people, like I would say the grand majority of people, art is also a social media event. It's like social media, because people often do music for fun and drawings for fun and paintings for fun, and often it's free, and nobody cares in these groups if anybody makes money. Because, money is not the most important thing in the world. And you can hear like my sleigh bells here. And these sleigh bells represent the scarcity of musical instruments in California. When it comes to musical instruments missing here and missing there, just my local Walmart here in Tehachapi does not have any musical instruments for anything. And I had to go to an obscure candy and barbecue restaurant store called Charlie Brown's Farms to get these musical instruments that you see here, musical spoons and sleigh bells. And they also had flutes and maybe a drum somewhere or something, but their musical instruments were limited even there. And at the same time, Walmart is trying to say that they teach children everything, that they have a grand store and that they teach children everything. But I hate to disappoint you on this, but no store or no business really teaches you everything, and no school does either. One time I went to an acting studio in West Hollywood, and I was in a personal singing contest with other actors and actresses in the studio, and we were singing our favorite songs that we've heard and listened to before, to see if we could match each other's lyrics and create new songs in thin air over someone else's lyrics. And I started as a joke on the young group, because I saw they were a very young, teenage-like group. I started singing Early Morning Rain by Gordon Lightfoot, and guess what? Because of the lack of Shakespeare literacy and the lack of understanding of Beowulf and all the famous poetic dramas of the history of poetry, and from their ignorance of just poetry in general, they had no idea how to respond to my singing of that song, and I knew from then on I should not let them teach me how to act. And I knew that that was an acting studio that I needed to leave, because I could probably do things on my own and get along very well with a lot of things in mind. And I got a couple minutes left. It's just not easy to find good acting and good singing. And in fact, guess what? Although I am an opera singer, I am an uneducated opera singer. I never had one class in singing anywhere. I was never taught anywhere in school how to sing, because I did not take theater classes. I was learning foreign languages. I was learning Spanish and French and even some German and Italian. I was too busy for theater performance. And back then, if you told me that I was an opera singer, I'd probably kick you in the nuts or something. But there are sad things when it comes to education, because education is something that is ongoing and ongoing and ongoing, and we never exactly know where we're going to fit until maybe it's too late. And maybe you think you're going to become a teacher, but instead you become a plumber, or you're thinking of becoming a cowboy, but you become a nurse instead. That happens all the time in miseducation, where it's like you go to school and you're trying to be something and realize that actually not only were the teachers giving you miseducation, but you were also miseducated yourself, and you were tricking and fooling yourself and thought that you needed all that school for a wrong goal. And that's the moral of this video too, which is the music industry is flashy, it is showy, but it can be very unpredictable and awkward. And you take care, and God bless.